This is the time of year that we talk about required minimum distributions. Required minimum distributions is when the IRS and Uncle Sam says, thank you for contributing to all your IRAs, but it's now time for you to pay some taxes. All right? So at 70 and a half, you have to start taking your required minimum distributions. And this is also the time of year that charities ramp up wanting to ramp up for donations, okay, as we get to the end of the year. So how do you kill two birds with one stone? And that is what's called a charitable required minimum distribution. And a charitable required minimum distribution, say that 5 times fast, is actually a way to erase your required minimum distribution from a tax perspective. So what happens is that a required minimum distribution allows you to give money to a charity. That money basically is your required minimum distributions from your IRA. So your IRA pays directly your required minimum distribution. Instead of giving it to you, it pays it directly to the charity. The benefit of this is that it never hits your tax return. It's like you never received it. All right. Now, this is much beneficial than a tax deduction, especially these days because with the new tax law, a lot of people actually don't get a itemized deduction. They get just a standard deduction. So a charitable required minimum distribution has to be set up that it goes directly to the charity, and it has to be in the name of the charity, which is two things that you have to understand, because there are some charities that are not set up to take your donation from a charitable required minimum distribution that you have to be mindful of. You also have to be mindful of, you're going to give the donation this way, that it goes again directly to the charity, so that it just bypasses you, so that it's not a taxable event from your perspective, from your tax return. Again, this is a great way to give to charity. It's a great way to zero out and make a tax-free distribution from your IRA, except it's going to charity, it's not going to you. Now, a couple of things to be specific about this. You have to be over 70 and a half to do this. The maximum amount of charitable RMD is $100,000 annually. The RMD must be completed by December 31st, okay? And again, the money has to go directly to the charity. Now, as we get closer to the end of the year, I've always thought, and I always try to work with some clients on this, that a charitable required minimum distribution is just a great way to minimize your taxes, especially if this is money that you don't need for your daily living. So with that, I'll see you next time on Financial QB TV.